Hello, and welcome back to Past the Pop Culture. I'm Mr. Finn, and I'm joined by Ricky.
What's up, guys?
So today we're going to be talking about the long-anticipated Humankind. Kind of give our general thoughts on it, if we liked it or hated it, and is it truly the Civ 6 killer that everyone kind of...
Hopes that it will be.
yeah. And we'll start with Ricky. So...
Man, well, I guess to kind of just start off with the kind of like the general gist of like what we were going to be talking about more is just that we're going to kind of break down the game a little bit, like what we think of how some of the interesting decisions that they've made, especially when it came to like terrain, which I think is probably the biggest thing that sets it apart from Civ 6.
Yep.
Is probably like the culture mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not too familiar with what Humankind is, the video game is it's a 4X game. It's a 4X strategy game. So if you're not familiar with 4X, it just pretty much stands for explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. It's pretty much Civ. You would kind of like the Paradox games, I guess. Typically, I see a lot of people say 4X is more turn-based. There's a big debate on kind of like what's a 4X game. Like, of course, you see Civ, and it's like, yes, that is the definitive 4X game. But then it's like, okay, well, there's like, of course, like the Paradox games where it's like, well, those are real time. So is that more real time strategy? Is it? And then it becomes like a whole big like thing where it's like, well, but typically 4X strategy games are just, as long as you do those four things, it's a 4X. It's like, and things dip in and out. Like, not everything's black and white when it comes to genres. But we're going to kind of be talking about, like, I guess, kind of mainly my thoughts. I'm not, because you're not too familiar with strategy games. I got you into them.
Yeah. My background is basically just a little bit of Civ 6 and then this game.
Yeah. And then whenever I yell at Fen to play Europa, you're just like, what?
I'm just like,
no.
My monkey brain cannot handle that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I love these kind of games. I'm not particularly good, I wouldn't say, but I love playing them. And
above average.
No,
no? Oh.
no. I don't have any clout, bro. I don't think so when it comes to that. So yeah. So anyways, to just kind of like I guess the main title is just like, is Humankind the Civ 6 killer? I guess kind of get that answer out of the way.
In my opinion, because I recently started playing Civ 6, right? So I kind of like Humankind a little bit more.
Interesting. Okay.
The reason being is because it is more, I don't know, simple. I guess I could say.
Humankind's more simple?
Humankind is more simple.
Is it simple or streamlined?
Yes.
Next question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard because I don't really know. Like Civ 6, I'm still learning. Yeah. Because I like when we play, I'm always like, I don't even know what the heck I'm doing.
I'm just like, man, this is the basic thing. I taught you this day one. What are you doing?
Yeah. But Humankind, it's like, Robbie, like my brother-in-law, he can jump into it and he kind of understands it a little bit, and then like Mercedes was like beating us when we were playing that one game, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, because oh my gosh, that one game was so frustrating because I started off in the like cold forest, nothing around, and then I go, there's like no food curiosities, and then I'm like, I finally get one unit, and then I go into a fight with the mammoth, and then so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna retreat, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't retreat, and then so I'm like, I'm gonna move my unit up here, right, on the mountain, and then the mammoth just like doesn't do anything for a few turns, and then it just says, oh, you failed to retreat, and then my units died, and I'm like, but it didn't attack.
You can fail to retreat?
I didn't know that was a thing. Because I've done the same strategy before. If I don't want to fight the mammoth, I go on a high mountain top if there's one there. And then what happens is like he has to attack you, so you get the advantage.
Right.
So that's what I was gonna do. I was like, okay, I'll just wait here till it comes forward. And then it just stayed in like the shadowy area. And then I was like, is it gonna come out? And then it just like, and then actually no, it was all in one turn. I didn't even wait till the next turn. It just like, it was just like the phases. You know how like you go like next round. I'm sorry, the round. And then I died, and I was like. And then I settled my city, right? And then I instantly lost the population. Like I settled the city, and then I was like, oh, okay, like I think it's like you get like a refugees. I think it's one of those ones. And then it was like, oh, disease. And I only had it where one of my units died, but instead it attacked the unit attack the population instead. And so I've never lost a population from a city from that event. And I was like, what? Are you serious?
Wow.
I was getting bad rolls on that, dude. I was like, it was not fun for me. I was just like, hold on. Like, I was getting literally every bad event possible. And then I was just like, okay, I'm kind of defeated here.
Do you like that event system that they have?
Okay, so
It's not random.
No. It's okay. So Amplitude, they made Endless Legends, I believe so. Like they've worked on those other games, and so if you played Endless Legends, there is a whole quest line for each like race, or civilization. And so I haven't played it forever, so I might, if there's anyone who's played it, I'm probably gonna misremember some parts here, because it's been a minute. And so with Endless Legends, there's a whole quest line. You can either win by beating the quest line, or you just basically get events. And there's ruins, kind of like curiosities, throughout the map. And so you check them out, and they give you different quests. And so I really like that. And they brought a light version over, which I really wish they would have had a little bit more events, more kind of like quest chains, I guess, to kind of go through like, oh, you made this decision, so now like like Europa Universalis. I do like those. Maybe not as heavy as CK2, where it's like every 5 minutes you have like an event, but it's like a little bit more, because something that I quite enjoyed is like because you haven't played this, of course, but Civ 5, there's I think it's the Vox Populi mod. Yeah. I think it's the Vox Populi mod. So it's basically a community rework of all of Civilization 5. And they have like little event chains. And so I kind of like that, where it was just like, oh, you get like a bad omen or something, or you get a good omen, or, oh, extra food on this city. And so it was cool because it was like a light version of that. And I was like, oh, it would be really cool if someone did that if they brought that over to Civ 6. Of course, they never did. But I have a lot of problems with Civ 6. I have a lot of problems with Civ 6. But I like how they did that for Humankind, and I really enjoy that. And I hope that they expand on that quite a lot more, because I really like event chains. I really like how EU4 does it, just because it's like, it makes like an impactful decision. Like, it's kind of like, oh, okay, you have like this good fort defender. Do you want him to become I think you can either tell him to stay home, and so it increases the defensive of the local area, or you can have him as like an advisor, and then you get fort defense on, so it's like, there's different things. And so it's like, I do like how that, I wish it would be a little bit more like, you would maybe be able to find like an extra resource or something like that. Maybe we haven't come across those events, but I played quite a few matches where it's like, it doesn't seem like there's not like, or you can be like, hey, you had a copper mine, but there's also iron, you can switch it. And so like, kind of like different things, like, or like, I really do like the direction though overall that Humankind is taking when it comes to like, I just want there to be a little bit more story elements, so to speak, and then I think it'd be perfect, because that is where it can differentiate itself from Civ. And I really hope that Humankind diverges a lot more from Civ, because I don't want the same game.
Right, yeah.
And so it's just one of those things where it's to what point is it kind of like a clone, and to what point is it like, is it a brand new game, a reskin? So you have to be careful. But I do think the story aspect of it, or the quest or so, I kind of like that. And especially because if you played Endless Legends, they wrote some good lore in there. Like I can't like recall everything, but like it was interesting to actually sit there and like read. It's like, especially Endless Space too. They had like a whole like, oh, like you're in the vastness of space and there's different races, and like so I enjoyed that, because they're pretty good at writing lore. And so like I was really excited to see what they did, and I wasn't disappointed, but I was like, I hope they put in a little bit more. Yeah. But it's so hard, because then it's like, how much do you railroad the game? You know what I mean? And versus like free play, where it's like you kind of do your own history, which is what it's trying to do. So I understand like there's that kind of like,
yeah, but I don't even think, because there's obviously some choices where it's like, well, why wouldn't I go with that? So it's like, how would they? I don't feel like there really is any like impact to what you choose, because it's like everyone's gonna pick the same thing if it's like the better one.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really find any point to the event system or whatever it's called.
The illusion of choice.
Yeah,
kind
and
of
it's
thing.
like, yeah, I hate when games do that. It's like, oh, here's 3 choices, and it's like, here, either lose 100 gold or get 5 pop or something, and it's like, well, why would I want to lose 100 gold?
Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're saying. So you're saying like it's basically like they make you think that by doing one thing it's like
the illusion of a choice,
or it's just like, even then it's like okay, is it more of a like a meta thing, like, oh, if I go with that one, it's like it's not worth it, like like everyone always goes with like the same thing. So no, yeah, I do get it, but I think that I do like the event system. I hope they expand on it a bit more. I'm hoping that of course, and they don't lock it behind DLC or something.
Can you imagine?
Like, I'd be a little upset, not gonna lie.
You want more story? Well, you gotta buy it.
Yeah.
And then I would drop that game.
Yeah, and then I'll be like, but I mean, I guess more like, what do you give like your overall rating? Because I don't think we haven't discussed this yet.
Yeah. I've been playing it. I think I've been playing a little bit more than Civ 6.
You probably played it more than me now, actually.
Yeah, actually no.
Really?
Yeah. According to Steam, you have more hours than me.
Oh, okay, nice.
I don't know.
I am making a strategy guide, so I hope so.
Yeah. I like it, but I don't know. There's just something missing for me.
I do agree.
Based on what people are saying, and like they're saying like this is a very like story driven game or whatever, and it's like there's really like make your own choices, like guide humankind. It's like I don't really feel that.
So you felt like they should have leaned even more into the story aspect.
Yeah, like no matter who you choose, it's the same cutscene every single time.
Yeah,
and it's like, why would you want to choose a different civilization if it's the same cutscene? I feel like if you choose X, Y, or Z, it should have its own set of cutscenes. Because it's like, oh, I mean, what's the whole point?
I know what you're saying, and this is the problem, because that Civ has too, because everyone's like, oh, put this civilization in that one. Oh, what about these people? Or alternate history, or multiple different, like, and then it's like it's so much noise. And then it's like, because once you can have like 10 civs starting off, right? And it's not too worry about. But what Humankind did is like you choose a new culture each era. And I think while as ambitious as it is, I think that it's gonna run into the problem of balancing. But not just that, it's like it's hard to do cutscenes for all those civilizations.
I don't think so.
Well, hard as in like the money that they're gonna put in may not be like, oh, it's worth it or something. I would love it, but I don't know, like they're gonna have to pay all these artists and animate, and to them they may just not seem it's worth it. And so,
but it's like, if that's the case, why would they say make your own like Humankind? Like,
I think it's the tagline of every single game.
That's my pet peeve.
Lead your people into the new world, or like
it's just basically a reskin, and it's like
one more turn, and so like there's all these taglines, like everyone does it, like it's just one of those things, like it's just you have to.
I don't like the illusion of choice. I just hate that, because I played WoW for like 15 years, and it's like, oh yeah, here's a talent tree system, but it's like there's something better than the other, and then like in this game, it's like, okay, if I want to be winning by conquering, you know who you're gonna pick. You're not gonna choose somebody who's good in science, and like I feel like I don't know. I guess you're right. I guess they can't really have free choice with this game.
It's the problem with these kind of games that it's just inherent to it. I think it's just one of those things. But before we move on, though, like I guess kind of just give a little bit of a rating. What would you say?
I'm thinking about that.
Because I would give it
agree.
A B plus.
Yeah, I kind of agree with a B plus.
Like a 7 out of 10. Like it's not bad. It's not bad at all. You can tell they cared about the game. Like they were really trying to go for something special. I just think the problem is that I do think it is, while it was delayed, a little undercooked. I think that's overall. It's just a little undercooked. And that the thing is, though, when these games get released, they're always undercooked. So I mean, I would like them to be ready. Everything's in there, but realistically, no. Like we would have to wait another year or two.
Yeah. And I mean, it's probably going to be a lot better with more
because
time, right?
Because you didn't have to wait for all the DLC.
Yeah.
For Civ.
Exactly.
So it's like I kind of jumped in around Rise and Fall.
So before it was good.
Yeah. Well,
Apparently.
Actually, no. I think I was playing base. I think because I bought the base game around Rise and Fall coming out, and then because I played it for free for a little bit, and then because they had like some not demo, but like you can download for like the free weekends. There we go. And so I did one of those, and that's what got me hooked. And then I bought the DLCs, and I was like, oh yeah, you kind of need DLCs to play this
giant
game.
robots. That's what convinced me. Sorry.
Yeah, the mechas, dude. You know what? I hope there's a mod for Evangelion skins. I haven't checked that, but I really do hope that there's one.
I would be surprised if there wasn't.
Okay, because I always thought
I saw a Game of Thrones mod.
Yeah, I always thought like it'd be cool because they did Beyond Earth for Civilization. I bought the game, never got too into it. But it came out after Civ 5, and then I think they did Civ 6. Yeah, so it went Civ 5, Beyond Earth, and then Civ 6, I believe, when it comes to those three. And then I might be misremembering, but like you went to another planet, and basically it was Civilization, but like you would go be on another planet essentially.
That's
same thing,
cool.
same thing.
Right.
But that one kind of fell flat for a lot of people, unfortunately. Cool, but I thought it was a cool idea. I really liked it, and I thought like, oh man, like I'm not sure. I never even got to the end of the tech tree, so I was like, maybe there'd be some cool way to like connect the Civ games like that. Like you go into space, and then it kind of goes to like Beyond Earth, which was kind of like the idea of it, but I don't remember.
What
if it kind of
isn't
like
Humankind one of the win criteria is you go to Mars?
Yeah, but it's for Civ 6 like that. You colonize Mars. Like that's kind of like the thing, the tech thing. I don't know, man. I think it'd be cool like in one of these Civ games like where you can kind of like try to like find aliens. Like at the end, like you meet aliens and then they like start attacking. You got Evangelion like Max and you just ripping
like a new Civ. That'd be kind of cool.
That's like okay, because when I plan on making my own Civ like game, I always wanted to be like at the beginning of the game you can kind of like you get like Easter eggs where it's like aliens come down and then they give you like tech boosts or something like that, but like you have to like build the pyramids and there's like a 1 in 100 chance of like the aliens coming down or something.
So it's like a curiosity but better.
Yeah, like I think it would just be freaking hilarious if we can do something like that. Like it's a super rare Easter egg, and then what happens at the end? If you get to the end, the aliens will attack, and then you all have to like band together with the other civilizations to either fight back the aliens or use that as an advantage to take over everybody, or fight all the aliens on your own or something. Like I don't know, like it'll give you like different choices. Like you can, and then like if you are like the #1 Civ leader for like the United, like planetary force or something like that, like then it's a secret ending. I always thought that'd be cool, like in these kind of games, like that Easter egg of like aliens. You know what I mean? I always thought that'd be cool. Yeah, but that was a tangent. But
rating.
But I always thought that'd be so cool, and I always thought it'd be funny, like in the Civilization games, if someone put an alien Easter egg. But yeah, I digress.
I don't think they would do that because aren't these games supposed to be like
historic?
Serious and based on history and
blah,
blah,
but
blah.
I'm like, and that's the problem too, because like Civ 6, they tried doing kind of like their own different game modes. Like they have like that zombie one and like all the like wasteland apocalypse, but never really stuck. For me, I never really was too interested in trying to play those. But I just would like an Easter egg. Like you can just turn it, like it's just so rare. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to even turn it off. It's just like it's going to be super, super rare. Yeah,
like I forgot it was there.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like it's just something like you would have to do like specific things. Like if there's crop circles, you'd have to put the scientists there. Like some funny stuff. Like it's very rare. Like if you put like 3 or 4 like farms together in a certain way, like you can get crop circles that appear. And you can just ignore them or something, or you can follow like a little mini quest chain.
Signs.
But like I don't know, just something cool. I think it'd be cool, like to add like aliens, like a secondary game mode. Like you just can create another save and then go the regular route, or you can just fight the aliens.
You could always make that mod, right?
Yeah, but that's gonna be a lot of work.
Get to it.
But
yeah, so you gave it a B+, right?
I gave it a B+. I think it's solid. I don't know. I don't want to compare it to Civ, even though that's probably like the direct comparison you can pretty much make it to. Because when we were talking about like 4X games, it's like it's kind of just dominated by Civ.
Yeah.
And I was excited by the idea of like, oh shoot, another company is trying to compete with Civ. And while like, I don't think you compete with Civ. I think the history that they've made in the genre, their presence, and just their whole like what Sid Meier's did for the series, I think it's like it's pretty hard to like overthrow them. I don't think you'll ever be truly like able to overthrow them unless I believe it's Firaxis, I think, that owns Civ right now. That like they would have to really like be messing up, which they've actually been kind of messing up pretty bad, but like you would have to just create the best game, like the next Civ. You'd have to create literally like
Civ 7, right?
Yeah. But I don't know, like it would just have to be something like they would have to mess up really bad, and I think the problem too, it's like with these kind of more niche, you know, because strategy games are like more niche than like Call of Duty. So it's like they have to use more aggressive monetization by like, oh, each character's a DLC, which is like, it's kind of annoying because it's like if you add in a new DLC character, and then especially if they're overpowered, and then you want to play competitive online,
you kind of have to buy them.
You kind of have to buy, but there's really no like competitive scene for the game, which is kind of a shame. I think it'd be kind of fun if there was like a little more competitive scene.
I don't know how that work. How would that work? Like I don't.
You just have to play on like online speed, and then either you know do teams, and then you just fight until someone wins, or like it's one of those things that it's like how exciting is it to watch it?
Not
Like
really.
you're not gonna get like esports level of like attention.
That announcer, the caster has to be
like
pretty
the casters would have to like
carry it,
and that's why fighting games are so popular, because it's just so much action. You know, it's like, you know, anime in real life, you know, where everyone's like fighting and everything, and there's like winners and losers and new challengers and stuff. So it's like, I don't know how you would keep that exciting, because I know like with the Paradox games, there are some people who are trying to make like kind of more of a competitive scene in it with like especially like Hearts of Iron, and so they kind of have like their own like thing that they play and mess around with. But I don't know how you would do it for Civ. I don't know if it's like if it'd be fun or possible. It's too like
I don't want to say the word slow, but it's pretty like slow to kind of
turn-based,
so it's like
but it's like, so it's like, you know, most like there's like, you know, card games are technically turn-based, but you would have to kind of like condense down the gameplay somehow to like just where it's like, or maybe you just start in the industrial era and then you just build the first person who gets the nuke, just, you know.
Well, yeah, but there could be like, oh, yeah, maybe that.
Like, I don't know how that would look like. It would be interesting to see like some sort of competitive level for it, but I just don't really see like
Civ 7, get to it.
Yeah. I don't really know, but it's because it's like with Civilization having their monopoly that they do, it's hard to have innovation within this genre, I guess, because it's like everyone just goes and plays Civ, and so whatever Civ's doing, everyone's just gonna follow. And so I don't know if there's like, maybe I'm just unaware of there being a competitive scene with Civ. I would highly doubt that there's like, I think we would have came across it by now.
Like it would have been pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, so.
But so do you think Humankind is kind of like next to Civ 6 right now, or do you think people are going to kind of ditch this game and go back to Civ 6? I'm
hoping that they don't ditch it. I'm really hoping that it receives support, because I've been following it for some time, not like super close and like part of all the stuff, but I was I did follow it like enough where I was like, oh, this has got me excited, but I don't because supposedly Civ 7 is going to be in development.
Right.
Because I was reading an article for PC Games, and so it's just basically saying that the company Firaxis is put out a ad looking for someone who enjoys history or whatever, and that to work on a AAA strategy game. So of course they're, you know, apparently they're gonna be announcing new games and other new franchises or something, but for the most part it seems like they're gonna start working on Civ 7, which makes sense because typically, like from what I've heard for the development cycles of the Civ games, is they come out with like 2 big DLCs, and then they do like some smaller stuff sprinkled in, and then they move on to the next one. That's what they did with Civ 5, and then that's what they did with Civ 6. What it seems like, they kind of run on these cycles when they're putting out the Civ games. So I am disappointed with Civ 6 in many ways because I don't like with the cartoony art style. It literally hurts my eyes when I'm trying to play the game because I have to, like, it's just like going from because I started off with Civ 6 and then I went to Civ 5. I'm like, wow, even though Civ 5 is way older, I like the art style better. And then to go from Civ 6, it was just I felt cartoonish. Like Civ 5, like especially with the music, man. Like I have to boot it up for you, man. Like because it's just like you got the like the opera kind of going, and then like the intro like into when you're seeing like the civilization, and then it's like they show like the different wars and stuff like that, and like Albert Einstein, and like they show different like historical moments, and then when you're just booting up the game and you got like that opera sing, and then I'm not even trying to mimic it because I'm not just doing it.
You gotta blow out our microphones.
And so I was like like it felt like you're playing as a civilization, like you're leading, but Civ 6 felt like a more.
The music sucks.
Yeah, I don't like the music as much as Humankind has slaps.
Oh, I was literally about I got that
slaps.
soundtrack. I listened to it. I watched like every single of the videos that they have on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Man, I love like soundtrack music for movies and video games, and it's like that's kind of like if the music sucks, I hate the game or movie. But it's like, man, I think that's kind of why I keep playing this game is just because the music.
Yeah, especially like I love the ancient era, nomadic era, like the music they have for that because it's really good. It's just like
especially because they're using instruments from whatever they're trying to do.
It's like historical, like actual instruments for that like culture group and
it's
everything.
Like, man, these
like
people
that.
are smart.
So it's like it really amazes me like that they put that much time into, and they do that for Civ as well. Like when they're doing the voice acting, they try to get people who are actually like able to speak that ancient language, and they try to get people from that culture group to do that, so they get it a little bit more authentic. To me, I'm not too picky about that.
I was about to say, in Humankind, do they have
accents?
I don't think so, right?
Besides the narrator, there's really like not a lot of voice acting. It's just like, I can't move there. The gods have said I can't, or something like that.
That's
and then it's stuff like that. It's just it's not something like super crazy.
So like if you choose the Huns, because I can't recall it, they're not gonna sound.
Everyone just makes kind of like these grunt noises, and then they do say something like in their language. I'm assuming like you could put like regular Mandarin, and then like like the historical, like the Mandarin that they were speaking that time, like traditional or whatever. I don't know like what it's called, but it's like I wouldn't tell the difference. I wouldn't be able to tell. So it's like I don't know. Like I couldn't like modern, the modern Greek.
Well, I'm just saying, as long as it's not like a
Greek
white
language.
guy, trying to.
Yeah,
you don't want to go, right?
They got Google Translate. Could you imagine that? They just use the Google Translate voice.
I can't. I'm not gonna.
It's like
Interesting. Okay.
All
right.
That'd be hilarious. That'd be a hilarious mod. It's just a Google Translate voice for all the.
That's the racist Google.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be funny.
But to kind of hone in again on the B+, do you think it would be a little bit higher if there was no bugs? I think we should talk about the bugs.
We ran into quite a few bugs that were quite
game-breaking bugs.
Yeah. Well, we had to restart with one of the games we were streaming. I think it was the last one we streamed. The last time we streamed Humankind.
Yeah, with Mercedes. Yeah.
We were just like, all right, we're just gonna call it here, because like we had it all load in, and then I was like, okay, I'm like starving here, and then that was when I was having a terrible game, and then I couldn't see my units, and then so
those are some pretty big bugs.
Yeah, like and I don't know like what would be causing the bug. I'm assuming it's just some sort of like graphical bug because like I have units disappear all the time on me.
I haven't got that bug yet.
Because I'm like literally like. And maybe that's why I was doing so bad, because I was like, what happened to my units?
You're supposed to have 4, not 2.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like, I was like, because sometimes they, the character models, they don't appear when you're moving them around. And then so it's like, but they want you to, like, you can still move them. It's just they disappear. It's like a bug. I don't know. Like, I saw something on the Steam stuff that, like, when you go like to your library, you can be like, oh, like messages or whatever that they send out. So yeah, you can report bugs. So we should probably report and like send them.
Yeah,
some
but it's
footage.
like those are like really game-breaking bugs, and it's pretty common.
And yeah, like
So
because
it's like, how
it
do
made it
they-
difficult because I lost track of some of my units. So I'm like, I couldn't put them to rest because then I would forget where they are, and then I would just have to click.
Yeah.
Like the only way that I found to do it is that because it is the first unit. Well, okay, so if you want to figure out how to fix the bug, so from what I found is that it's the first unit that you have in that army group. So if you have
the first square.
So the first icon
Okay.
right there. So if you remove the other characters from it,
Right.
they get their graphics back, they get their animations and their model.
Okay.
So you just have to make a separate army group, and then so you can either just go and delete the unit, and then you're gonna have to build a new one. And sometimes, though, very rarely, are that I tried merging them again. And then so it would work sometimes, as long as that one's not like the front unit again.
That's a hassle though.
But yeah, it's like you have you have to make sure it goes into that army. Like you can't just detach the army that you just detached. You can't reattach it and then the graphic comes back. You have to get that bugged unit to join the other one with the graphics, and you just have to hope that it doesn't bug out again. So it's like that's the only way I found it to work.
Jeez.
And then the other one was that
The combat just stops working.
the combat just stops working, and the combat's kind of bugged. It is.
I was gonna
kinda
say,
bugged.
I think most
In
bugs
general.
are in the combat, right?
Yeah, in general, the combat's pretty bugged because like my unit just died out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, you can't move back anymore. I'm like, dude, I haven't even fought him.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm on this mountain tile waiting for him to attack me, and it was just sitting there for like so. And then because what happened to like Mercedes was just like she was trying to fight,
Yeah.
and then she was just like she moved her unit back or
Yeah.
something, right?
And she just couldn't move it
So what
end the turn.
what I noticed is that when the other units are out of sight or they can't see you or whatever
Mhm.
how the sight system works, I noticed that's when it has the most bugs, because I'm assuming that like the way that it probably just works is that the AI might just not know what to do, and then it's just like it just stays there, but then it's like you
Yeah.
can't do the turns or
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm just spitballing because I have no idea how that system works.
Well, because I'm trying to think, because like for the AI, even though they finish moving all their units, it kind of like literally just like sits there for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then I know it goes back to your turn or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
why is there always like a delay in the combat? I don't know if you noticed that.
I think it's just time that for everything to compile through. I think it's just because it's trying to go through all the checklist, and then when it comes back around,
That's kind of weird.
I don't know. It's probably just some like inefficient thing or something that they coded in, or I don't know. I'm assuming that I wouldn't know. You would have to check under the hood, like to
Yeah,
really
but no
understand
thank
what's
you.
going on. But
Ooh, and then the other bug is for Xbox. Have you? I
oh
kind
no, I don't.
Okay, so yeah, because I bought it on Steam, and then Mercedes bought it on or has it on the Xbox Game Pass, and so
Uh-huh.
now the bug for the Xbox Game Pass is that for whatever reason it just stops working, and so I kind of like Googled it, and a lot of people are having
What
this
do you
problem.
mean it just stops
It
working?
just so you can play I think single player,
Mm-hmm.
but if you try to do multiplayer, it just doesn't connect.
Oh, is that why
Even-
you were struggling?
Yeah,
right?
so
'Cause
like
you're-
even if I was the host and I tried to invite her, it would go in, but then it would kick her out and say, "Oh, failed to connect." And then if she tried to be the host, it would even like make her the
you're right.
host.
Because you know what? I just got kicked out of the game randomly. Remember that one time?
Mhm.
Was
So-
that the same game that I got kicked out? Where I was like, dude, it just kicked me out.
I think
and
so.
then it was like, oh, you says you have no internet. And I'm like, well, how am I talking to you guys
Yeah.
if there's supposedly no internet?
Oh, that's right.
And then my brother's playing, which
That's
we live in
right.
the same house.
Yeah,
And he's like,
that's
I didn't get
right.
kicked. And then, so yeah, there's like a lot of bugs. That
But see, okay, so
all right, now we're dropping the grade.
yeah, but seriously, it's this bug. So in order to fix it, you have to make a whole new Microsoft account, and then it works.
Oh, that's not worth it, dude. Like,
So
at
like
that
in
point.
order for me and Mercedes to play, she had to make she had another account, so she had to go onto the other account, and then it worked.
Oh my
So they're saying that
gosh.
the bug it breaks your account,
Oh, it breaks the account.
so she can't play on her account. If she ever wants to play with
Oh,
us,
shoot.
she has to go on the other account.
It broke her account.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
like is that gonna like affect everything she plays from now on? or is
I'm not sure. Hopefully it's just
Bro,
this game.
That is my biggest fear when I make a game. Is that
You brick a system or
is that I break someone's like phone on a mobile app? I'm just like, all I wanted to do was just fire this button and then like.
no, it's a bad bug because I know Angel plays our cousin, the manga elitist. Ugh. He
Yeah.
He played on Xbox Game Pass.
Mongitis?
Yeah.
Sounds like an STD.
Yeah. Sorry, Angel. But like his worked. So I don't.
Nah, I always tell him it sounds like an STD.
Yeah, I always tell him that too. It's like, how'd you even? Anyway, sorry.
We're gonna get way sidetracked.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think maybe it should be like a B-, just because all those bugs are pretty.
Yeah,
ouchies.
it is, but I think I don't know. Like, I never played multiplayer on their other games, so I can't go off of like, oh yeah, on their other games, it had that kind of bug. Plus, their other games are older, so I'm assuming they had time to fix them. But from what I understand, though, like, kind of seemed like from what other people have played, like the online isn't the greatest. For their other games, that's just what I've been told. I don't know too much. Like, it's just like I was watching like a video one time, and it was like, yeah, the multiplayer is a little jank. So.
A little.
But predominantly it's a single player game, and that's where most people are playing. But still, like, for us, it's like it's kind of important, the multiplayer.
It shouldn't take us like 30 minutes to.
Yeah, because it does take a long time to start a match, and because I played an online match with randoms, and then so I got I forgot what civ I got, but anyway, so I was just like, oh, okay, and I just started off and I took that one, and then someone dude was like, oh man, I wish I got that civ because like I had a good start for it, and I was like, oh, okay. And then a few turns later, he just leaves, and then I'm like, okay, well, he leaves, and then I eventually left because like everyone was just like leaving, and there was only like 2 people left. I'm like, well, it's like,
you
what's
can
the
just
point?
leave like that?
Yeah, you can just leave like that. I mean, I don't think you should be forced to play the game, but the AI just takes over. But
Yeah,
I don't know, but I just thought like everyone got kind of salty like halfway through, and then they're like, I'm like, guys,
well, see, illusion of choice again.
I haven't even like attacked you yet. I'm just like, where's the satisfaction, bro? But yeah, there are problems with it, and I think, I think if they work on it, they can fix it, and then everything will be.
It has a lot of potential.
It has a lot of potential, and I love the art style. I really do, because it's like an aesthetic, real life look, I guess, like watercolor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I like it. I think it's really nice, and so like, I hope. Civilization kind of takes a page out of Humankind's book and changes the art style back to like a more realistic thing. The reason why everyone says like, okay, Civ 6 kind of went with that art style is because they wanted to go to console. And so if they made very realistic units,
right,
it might have been like too much for the PlayStation 4. Because when Civ 6 came out, it was
I was gonna say
it was base
okay,
PlayStation 4.
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean?
I
like,
was about to call them out, but never mind.
and Switch.
Okay.
And Switch.
Ooh.
So, because it's on the Switch, so it's
How does it run on Switch? I'm actually kind of curious about that.
There's a lot of bugs, and people are pretty upset about that. But actually, so it's people say like the game gets stuck. And then, like, you can't load in. There's a lot of graphical errors. And then it's just kind of slow and clunky. And then for a while, you would have to wait forever to get the DLCs. And, like, so whatever PC players got, you would have to wait so long before it gets ported to Switch. And then...
That's just for the Switch?
It's kind of the same thing for the PlayStation stuff. But the Switch is just a little underpowered compared to the PlayStation.
Why? Okay, so... Yeah. So why would you play Civ on the console?
Because you don't have a PC.
How do you play on console though? That's kind of weird. I don't think this is a game that should be played on console.
I don't know. I'm assuming it's just like you just move the controller around.
I don't mean to like hate shame console players.
Are you PC Master Race?
No,
PC Master Race?
I'm just like there's some games that.
There's some games that are only really meant for console or like handhelds or like mobile or something like that. Like I don't know how riveting.
Like I'm just thinking about it. It's like that seems tedious.
Like
having to like.
I don't know how like great the user experience. That is like
Let us
a
know.
little bit of a complaint that like I almost did it just to see, but I was like, I'm not spending more money on this stupid game. Like, I've already spent way too much money on these strategy games.
Jeez. Yeah, I wait for the sales.
Yeah. I wait for sales, too.
Oh.
I wait for them, man, because I'm like, I'm going to, like, on EU4, man, all the DLCs together are like $200-300, man. I'm not about to spend all that. I'll get a half price, thank you.
And I got it for free.
Yeah. Well, you don't,
well, technically, I don't know.
Yeah, well, because you have the path, but that's a different thing, I guess. But, yeah, like I think just this genre has a lot of problems in general. So I just you can't squash every bug, and then of course like because of how niche it is, it's like to get like you can't spend too much money on these games
Right.
because it's like you're not gonna make it back, and then so like you can't. I don't know how much time they're gonna spend squashing bugs and all that too, which is my fear.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their like plans are. I could probably look it up, and there's probably like a roadmap or something. But
Do you think this genre kind of has, how do I say this, like an end point? Like how can they change this genre to make it like a better, I guess that's pretty vague.
more realistic.
Yeah.
It would
Because
just have
I
to be
know
more
like a
realistic.
lot of people always complain, it's like, this is just another blah blah blah, and it's like, how do you change this genre to make it
I don't
better?
know. Like I think.
Like, how do you add upon it? You know,
Because yeah, like so I would love to make a game in this genre. Like that's always been
Yeah.
something like I wanted to do, and so like even for myself, like I've had to think like, well, how would I make it different?
Mhm.
Because I don't want to be Civ. I don't want to be Humankind. You know, it's like that's lame.
Yeah,
Like not that they're bad games, but it's like
but it's like, how do you make
you
a
already
game
made
like
it.
this?
It's like why? Yeah, like why make another one?
It's a loaded question. Sorry, but
It is a loaded question, I guess, but I don't really know how you would expand on it. I think you would have to try to do like a different style, because you would have to make the combat a bit more interesting. And so, because actually my solution to the combat was very similar to what Humankind did.
Mhm.
And so I haven't gone to like the later eras, because usually it's like by then I'm like I either get kind of tired of the game and just want to like, okay, I just finish everyone off, or I start a new game, because
Yeah,
I enjoy
so-
the early era.
Yeah.
But like, is there like can your units like dig trenches and like stuff?
Well,
like
apparently, because I wasn't able to go. I think when I finished the game at turn 300, I was barely like at like medieval, almost like pre-industry or whatever it's called. So I haven't even seen like like shooting guns or cannons or whatever.
Oh, because I got to that point, but I didn't build it because my like Mongol army was
Oh,
so
yeah,
powerful.
yeah,
I was just like, and actually that's a huge problem too. Is that the nomadic tribes in the game too overpowered? They need a
Yeah.
they need a big nerf. Because literally, I was the Huns, and I was just like taking over everything. Like I don't even know what to tell you. I'm just like, it was kind of like.
Yeah, I did notice, because there's some where you can upgrade the units, but sometimes they do less damage. I don't know. I can't really recall what it was, but there was a certain unit where I was like, oh, I can upgrade it now. So I would look and I would compare, and it's like, oh, I think it was the elephant unit, and then it becomes a regular unit or whatever, and it's like it does less damage.
Oh, because that might have been like your special unit, so that's why they probably gave it more. I don't know. I don't know. I would have
I just
to.
assuming if you upgrade, it should always be better, but maybe not.
Well, like I think in Civ 6 it used to be that if you played as the British,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you had the redcoats, right, your unique unit, and you were playing on another continent, your redcoats would do just as much or more damage than the modern infantry, not the mechanized infantry. I think it was just regular infantry. Yeah, it was just regular infantry. So yeah, so like it was like the
Makes
next
sense to me.
units up. but that's of course if you're playing on another continent or something like that. Like you needed
I
like a
guess.
specific bonus and like to
Mhm.
do something that you didn't need to upgrade your units or something like that, because the
Very
redcoats
interesting.
were enough. Which I thought that was interesting. But it's just like, because there was like another thing like too, like I think it was like in that, because since everything's like on chance and dice roll,
Mm-hmm.
you technically, like if you have like an archer unit going against a tank unit, there's like a 1 in like so many like chances that the arrow, the archer unit
Mhm.
could just one shot the or
The
destroy
tank.
the tank or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Okay,
There's like
Rambo.
a joke. There's like a joke about that. Like people were saying like you could technically kill the tank with an archer unit if you do this one thing. And but it was like, I can't remember. I can't recall it. But yeah, if
That's
you
definitely
remember
Rambo.
it, yeah, someone
Hmm.
let me know, because I forgot what it
Very
was.
Interesting.
But yeah, like it's just that I think when it comes to innovation within the game, I've tried to think about this personally, like from a game design perspective, and like I kind of found like it is difficult, because for myself, I found that the combat in most of these games is kind of what keeps it interesting, because
Yeah.
for the most part, it's really hard to keep these games interesting from one turn to another
Mhm.
without just being repetitive. Because I do have that problem where it's just like, okay, next turn, and then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, my unit's
did
out,
that,
let's go to
yeah.
war,
Yeah.
and then it's just like Actually, and then I'm gonna digress because I have another problem with the game too. Is
C+.
I hate yeah, it just knocked down the points more and more. No. But what I was gonna complain about is that the war support thing.
Oh yeah.
That was a pain in the butt, bro. Because
I don't really understand it still, but
I didn't 100% understand it, and so I would do surprise wars,
mm-hmm.
and then I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna conquer them, conquered everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm just sitting there waiting for the turn. I'm like, okay, now they're gonna do a peace treaty. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take all your land, please.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'll take all your land, please. I don't like. What is this scoring thing? What do you mean? I conquered you, bro.
I think
I was because I was anticipating like Civ 6, like you just take all the cities and they're just like, okay, yeah, here, have them.
Yeah.
But I was like,
that's only when you can offer them a surrender, and then you take all their cities.
Oh, okay, because I was like waiting there and like, okay, here's like, can you surrender now, dude? And then I was like, I forgot what I did, but like I took all their cities and I just end up, I made everyone a subject, and because it was a what is it called? An achievement where you
make them all vassals.
Yeah, but they don't really follow you into war or anything. There's like no point. You just get their money.
Yeah, there's an AI, and they're like, okay, see ya.
Yeah, and that's why it's like I was kind of hoping that the diplomacy stuff would be a little bit more elaborate, which it is than Civ in a way, but like I do like at the beginning, like it's just skirmishes. So like you have to first form diplomatic relations, which I really like. I hope Civ does something like that. Because that would make the beginning of the game pretty hard, though, if you would do that, I feel like, for Civ. Because it's just like the way, because how like cities are settled. Yeah. You can just snipe someone's settler just like that. Oh. So it's like, I could see why they wouldn't. Yeah, barbarian intensifies.
Especially for me.
Yeah. Jeez. Dude, it's just kind of one of those things. So it's like, I don't know, but I would like to see some form of that incorporated. But the war support thing kind of confused me. I didn't fully understand it because I was like, dude, I just conquered everything. I raised your land and everything. And I was just like, okay.
And then they can call off the war, right? If they have enough.
Yeah, if they lose the war support all the way, then you can't keep conquering them. They just automatically surrender. And I'm just like, but because you have to gain enough war score and war support to take more stuff, you can't. So it's like, yeah, you can't. You have Casa Bellas, like kind of like in Civ, like so you have like a reason to go to war. Yeah. So you need that higher war support, but it's like it's just
that's kinda, like not even obvious. So
it's just like maybe I just have to understand that a bit more and go through it.
But if you're in battle and your units are in their territory and then they make you surrender or whatever. Oh! I can't click. I had to like click like 20 miles away just to because like I can't click my units in their territory because I don't have enough war support.
Another thing that happened to Angel that was an oversight for the game was how he went from nomadic and he chose. Was it the Assyrians or something? Well, he chose. Oh no, he didn't choose the Assyrians. Well, I forgot who he chose, but So he was in someone's territory, remember? And then so he's like, I can't move. And I'm like, well, just move out of his territory.
You can't.
And then he's like, no, I'm too far in his territory. So if I try to move out, I can't move out far enough because I don't have enough movement points. Yeah, exactly. And so it would declare war.
Exactly.
And so that was a big oversight on their part, and I hope that they go and fix that.
Like I feel like if you're in war and then whatever they offer you the surrender, they should allow you to click your units out. But it's like you can't click on any of their territory tiles like at all. Yeah, like you just and then like it forces you to do the peace treaty then and there. Yeah. And so it's like you can't move your units out, and then it becomes a problem like because or just push them
when you
out.
Go from,
I don't know.
Like what Civ does, it just pushes your units outside of the borders. Like I think all they have to do is just incorporate that, and then like that's fine when you go from Neolithic to Ancient Era, because that was a problem too. But there's a few things, but
C-.
Yeah, I don't know, but because I like Civ a lot. I put way too many hours into it. I'm not talking thousands, but just more hundreds. But
I still don't get Civs, but
but like it's just one of those things, like, because I played Civ 6, then went to Civ 5. I like Civ 5 more, and I felt like Humankind felt more like Civ 5 than Civ 6.
I do kind of want to try Civ 5, because I know you always say it's good, and a lot of people say it's better than 6.
Civ 5 is better than Civ 6. If you play the Vox Populi mod, it is probably the best 4X strategy game.
And can you do that multiplayer?
You can do mods, but I tried downloading it again, and then I get like I get really bad bugs with that mod for whatever reason. It just doesn't like my system, and then so I've like downloaded, and started, and I can't even get it to run the mod, and it's a community thing. Honestly, that mod is so good. They should have just sold it as a separate game. Like they literally showed up like. The Civ,
it's possible.
the Civ
I know,
dev team,
yeah.
the Civ dev team, they showed them up by being like, we made a better game, dude. Like, I don't know who worked on that mod. You have my utmost appreciation because that game is, like the AI is competent, bro. I will get clapped because the AI act according to how like they are. I settled next to like Rome or something. I got clapped so hard, bro. And then Rome flashbacks, and I took. Yeah, we're not talking about that. But if you watched our Twitch, then yeah, you would understand the reference. But
sorry.
Yeah, so it's like I got clapped, and the AI was competent, and they actually would settle in good spots and everything, like spots that I would personally settle at. I was like, whoa, like it was so weird, like that some community members came together and they fixed all this, like out of like love and passion for the game.
Cool, though.
And it was really awesome. And so like I put so much time into that because it's like play Civ 5, get it down, and then play the mod. Because I would not tell you to play the mod
because it's actually like hard.
Because it's hard and it's complicated. Like literally, like the lowest difficulty is probably where you would have to start. Like it for not base Civ 5, but like if you were gonna play the mod outright, because you would get clapped so quick. It would just like I played like the second or third, like because I was like, oh, I'll play on the regular difficulty, and I had to lower it like 1 or 2 because I was like, hold on. I was like, yeah, like. I'm not someone who plays like on deity and all that. Like I'm not like some like Civ god or something. I don't like playing on those difficulties because for one, the amount of cheats the AI gets, it's not fun. It's more like, oh, okay, yeah, you start off with like 5 settlers and then like it's not fun. Like the AI doesn't get smarter. They just get more money, more science, more gold, and it's more like you're just fighting. It's like you're just fighting someone who's using cheats, and it's just like it doesn't. But the thing is, like, of course, like regular difficulty is not as rewarding because it's not that difficult. Yeah. So then it's like I only usually go like up.
Double-edged sword.
I only usually go up like 1 or 2 difficulties. Like I usually like at minimum I'll play on king, but like I usually play like the next one up or something like that. Like that's enough difficulty where they just get a little bit of enough bonus where it's like it makes it challenging, but not like, okay, this is stupid. Why do they start off with all these units? Like, and so it's kind of like that.
That'd be kind of cool if more mod communities make their own games.
I think it'd be interesting. I really hope like for my game that I would eventually do that. Like I would have to be, that's like way in the future. Like I wouldn't even know like if that would even be possible, dude. Like
well, because I know for Skyrim, the people who had like a mod for it, they made their own game based on the mod that they had for Skyrim.
Yeah, because like if Vox Populi went on and made their own like Civ like game,
would they be in trouble, Civ?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like it would be. I don't know, dude. Like that would be pretty amazing. Like they got proper funding and everything, like an actual game studio. I don't know what like they're doing. I don't know any of the people who worked on it. Or just
Civ people hire them, right?
Yeah, it's just maybe Civ people hired them, but like it was just like that was like whoa. When I played it, I was
that's very interesting.
Like a mod, like the mod itself is better than Civ 6 than all the stuff that they've done. It's just like it's because it's people who play the game extensively and like not to knock any people who work at for Axis because like a lot of them do play the game and they love it, but of course there's only so much they can do because there's so much bureaucracy on top.
I was gonna say they can't really think out of the box,
that they can't do things that maybe they want to do or they know they should. They've gotten better at it recently to listen to the community and be like, hey, this is what we want, right? When everyone was like, where's Portugal? Bring Portugal in. They're like, fine, we got Portugal. But there's like it's like of course like some of the choices they put for like Civ leaders and all that didn't go over too well, but yeah, like it just depends, like because the direction they might lean in. And I hope they go more towards like they listen to the audience, but of course you listen too much, then you give them what they want, and sometimes that's not actually what they want.
And then it sucks. And then it's like, that's not what I said.
That's the problem of listening to the community too much. It's like sometimes you gotta stick with your gut. But I don't know. I just think I really want this series to do well. Humankind, I really wanted to do well. I know we're kind of like, oh, there's this bug and that bug, but it's like I really wanted to do well. I think
it's still fun.
It's still fun. Would I say to buy it? I think if you are really interested in this genre, I would say then yes, buy it. But if you are more like a
A
how do I word
newbie.
it? A newbie, like you've never played these games before. I don't know if I would say go pick up Civ or go pick up Humankind. I don't know. What do you think, Fen? Like, would you say as a newbie to like? Cause I know I got you into it, and I gave you that guiding hand.
I would say Humankind would be a little bit more easier.
Mhm.
In terms of like if your first city, whatever, it kind of just like it recommends areas like how much you get plus
Mhm.
production plus food, and then like in Civ 6, like I always tell you, it's like I don't know where I'm supposed to settle. And it's like,
So
I
you
think
find it more difficult to settle in Civ.
than in Humankind, because in Humankind you can
You just
technically-
settle anywhere technically.
and then you add buildings that makes it better. And like
Yeah.
in Civ 6, it's like you kind of have to have a decent area
Yeah.
and then build on top of that. But I think
Personally, the
Humankind
way
is
that
a little more
Civ 6
easier.
the settlement works, I like the idea that they wanted to like expand the city.
Mhm.
But the way Civ 5 is, it's just one city, and then like
Okay.
everything's built inside, and then you just start using up the three tiles, max out.
Oh, okay.
Actually, in Civ 5, it's pretty common to get like 4 tiles out if you have enough culture being built there and stuff, like in the late game. So it's like,
Interesting.
but you don't want to rely on getting that 4th tile out. Like it's like it happens
Yeah.
rarely, but if you produce enough culture and you get lucky, yeah, like you
I
can.
don't know which one is easier, Humankind or Civ.
Yeah, like Civ 6 is probably the benchmark, but I hope that it gets moved. I hope that Humankind provides enough competition to really get them to go. Civ 7 needs to be good.
Yeah,
I hope it scares them enough. I hope the numbers scare them enough.
it probably will, because a lot of people are playing Humankind.
A lot of people are playing it, and
Big
I'm
streamers
glad.
too.
Yeah, I'm glad that they are, because it's like it's a fun game. I think the combat is just. While I think there's a lot of problems, I think it's better.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much took the system they had for Endless Legends and then just implemented for this one.
Mhm.
And I do find it to be more interesting. And then
I do like how it kind of reminds me of what's it called, like Total War and all that stuff. I think that's what it's called. And like you actually
Okay.
Be on mountains, get the advantage, high ground, and all that. I do like that, because it's not
it's
not just fight here and you're done. It's like no,
I
you
do,
gotta-
because like with Civ 6, it's like, oh, you just on a hill across a river. Okay,
Yeah.
boom. It's like, no,
And
like
it's like you
there's
can't even-
elevation,
yeah.
and then there's like, oh, if you're in the forest
Yeah.
or if you're out of sight, you
Yeah.
can't. So there's more when it comes to the combat, and I like the idea of reinforcements. So it's
Oh,
like you
yeah,
bring
yeah.
in those, and then you just got like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
units, and man, dude, that was like, I find that fun, like, because
It is.
I usually go domination, so I think the combat's very important, like for me, because that's what keeps me entertained, is like the strategy aspect of like, okay, I'm gonna send my units here and then try here, and then like, because for myself personally, what I like to do is like, I'll save right before a war, and then I'm like, what can I do to minimize like the least amount of casualties on my side?
Cheats.
And then so I'm like, okay, so I try different strategies, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is like, and then that's how I get better when I'm fighting combat. But I think that the game does have, like, to go back, a lot of potential. I think we just have to really support it as a community if we want it to do well. I think if we, I'm not gonna like shill for it or anything, because it's like at the end of the day, it's like I don't know what direction they're gonna take with it. They had good support for their other games; they supported it well. But of course, at the end of the day, like I think like with Endless Legends, they put in like this overpowered like Civ that you can play as. Like I'm using Civ as like an interchangeable thing.
Yeah.
But that was too overpowered, and then everyone played it, and it just was like,
and it just killed itself.
yeah, and then it kind of killed itself, and so that's what I'm worried. Like, but the thing is, like, you're playing in kind of like a fantasy almost, or like sci-fi, so then it's like it's a little bit different than like you have to go culturally, like, and historically, kind of like the games, but you can still make it overpowered. Like the Huns and definitely the Mongols are like, whoa, like I was playing them, and I'm just like, I mean, yes, historically,
makes
Huns
sense.
and and the Mongolians overpowered.
Yeah.
Mongols are overpowered. Like in real life, the horse archer is overpowered. And in this game, because in Civ 6, the meta is horse units because they have better movement, and that while yes, in Humankind, like movement's important, but because you get more movement points, it's not as important. But dang, man, with the Mongols, it's like the horse archers, you shoot them, move back, put the other unit there, shoot them, move back, put the other, and then you're not taking damage. And then especially if you're on the horse unit up a hill, and then they come and attack you, they'll die before they even hit you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just like it's a really like overpowered thing. I think you'd have to lower their attack a little bit, or somehow change up the movement thing, because like it's like I would just zip across and just be like I'd be like, oh, you think you're gonna win AI, and then just like zoop, and then just send in like a Mongol horde. Yeah, I was like
across the map.
And then like because the way like you can't walk into the city with the horse units, like just like you can't jump it.
The fence,
but
whatever.
if you're playing horse archer, it doesn't matter, and you just swap them out, and then like I was like melting the enemies. So like it's too overpowered.
The horse archers can.
The horse archers can
breach
shoot.
or whatever.
They can't. Well, they can't breach, but like they can shoot the melee units inside, so that you don't even have to hit them. Or I'm like, you don't have to take combat damage. So then what you do is that you go up to you attack the city, right? You surround the city. So what you do is like you set up as close as you can. So if there's elevation points, use that. But you're gonna shoot the unit in the city, right? You shoot it, then you move out as far as you can, especially if it's behind a river or uphill. So then it forces, when the AI attacks, they have to move out and chase you.
Yeah,
so
they have to go towards you.
So it forces them to leave the city, which leaves them unprotected. And so what happens is that then you surround that unit, and then you just fire the archers at them.
Wow.
And then so it takes them out, because the AI is not very smart. And that's what I was saying. Like, I usually don't get past the medieval game, because I'm just like, I go, even if I'm at the disadvantage, because I bait them out, the AI, especially across the river, and I just like hit them with like my archer units. I'm just like, okay, you're dead. And then like, even though they get like a big defense, but it's just like, because it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. Like, they stay in there, and I just like, pelt them with like the arrows, and then like I'm just like shooting them like crazy, and then I just move back, and then because they're melee units, they have to go out and chase me, but I'm like across a river, an elevated position, and then it's just like it's an easy GG, even though you got the advantage.
Taking advantage.
I could take a city with three Mongolians or Huns, because it's just like it's just like.
Is that a problem just for like the Mongol/Hun, or is it?
Well, just because most of the other units don't have that ability, or like they'll take damage. Because like I honestly didn't build anything because if you raise and you attack a city and you attack units, you earn food, and then that after you get enough food, boom, you get a new unit. And so that's what I did. But also, if you're paying attention to how the game works. So with the Mongols, you can set 4 units, right? So with the 4 units like an army, and for the most part, until you get like the caps and all that. But you need 4 because each one counts as a pop. So you can settle a new outpost with 4 Mongol units, but you can also get 4 Mongol units from an outpost. It doesn't destroy the outpost, I think. It just puts it back to 0 pop. So I would go like to my overpopulated outpost, and raise a bunch of like Mongolian units, horse archers, and I would get 4 of them. So if I had because by this point in the game, my outpost had like 5, maybe 6 population, depending on the food. So the ones that were starting to starve, I just raised them as units, and then they would get more. And so I was just having like huge, it's broken. It's really broken.
Okay,
I hope like the Mongolians is broken. That's why I was like when I was like making, I was playing, I was like, dude, like this game's kind of easy. Like if you do this, like I was like, it's a cheap way of doing it. I don't think I'm gonna keep playing it like that, because then that's gonna take a lot of the fun out. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, just get this huge army. Like, you can go into debt, but it's like literally all you have to do is just keep raising everything, and then pay for the new units by that. And like, so it's just like, and then you get vassals that pay for the units. So it's a big snowball effect for the game
already.
No, like Spiffing Brit, he already did a video on how powerful the Huns and all that are, or the Mongolians. Like,
that was a good video.
It's they need to kind of like, it's true how overpowered in real life, but again, because I know we keep hitting this point, but it's like we need it to like, like there's some balancing.
It just came out, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna start balancing.
I think bugs. I think overall, like, I don't know what you think the game needs to get better. I think it's just fix some bugs, balance the stuff, because I just feel like also too, like the unique buildings and all that, I don't feel like they're powerful enough
Yeah.
they feel like they don't really make as much like
Impact.
of an impact by going to certain civilizations. Sometimes some of them
Some of them, yeah.
some of them are like clearly
it's just like
better.
one influence and like, all right.
Yeah, and I know because like you don't want to make them too overpowered and
Yeah.
stuff, but it just doesn't. There's not enough differentiation for like what each civ does to make it feel different enough. A lot of the times, like I can't tell the difference. I'm playing the Olmecs or the Hittites or
Yeah, exactly.
outside of like maybe just like the unit and like the wars or something
And
like
how
that.
the buildings look.
Yeah, and so it's like and I wanted to do really good, and so at least like what Civ 6 does is that, you know, when you're playing a certain civ, you can feel the difference
Mhm.
sometimes. You know, sometimes it's like a little bit more generic, but like if you're playing, you know, the Persians or, you know, the Greeks, you can kind of feel like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, like it's a little bit of a different play style, a little bit different versus like if you're playing Sweden or Canada. You know, it's like there's a little bit of a different, like what you're able to do, the kind of wars
That's
you're able
true.
to declare. So I hope, but, you know, again, because of how expansive it is, and I hope to see other civilizations come in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just worried like how that DLC is going to end up going.
I don't even. Hopefully they're not overpowered like the Mongols.
And so, yeah, like, because I appreciated that they got some, like, civs that are not too popular to put in, like the Hittites and the Olmecs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that, you know, there's, like, some interesting choices you can make. I hope to see more Native American civilizations in the game and cultures. I think
Mhm.
that'd be really fun. I always enjoy those when they get put in the games and all that. I hope to see more like African representation as well, because I know they have the Zulu and all that, but like, you know, come on, you have to have the Zulu in it, like you always do. like you know, it's like it's like I hope like you get to see more like different culturally like different besides like the same European like
same
nations like
people you expect, right?
like Spain, you know, Britain, United States. Like that's cool, but it's like I want to play like
they're boring, Ricky.
I want to play like, you know, different like civilizations. I want different
I
things,
understand,
cultures.
yeah.
Like it's fun, like especially like going like as kind of like more obscure, you know, civilizations, and then
Give us
like
a robot civilization.
yeah,
Nice.
AI only,
That'd be beautiful.
hive mind kind of thing.
I would
But
love that.
yeah, I mean overall, I really hope that just Humankind is good, man. I'm gonna continue to support it.
It's a good game, but you know, it has some issues that should be fixed. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I would pick it up.
you would pick it up.
Yeah, like
You-
if you told me to play it, I'd play it, and I'd probably still play it.
Like
so.
if you have the Game Pass, play it, download
Yeah.
it. There's no point not to.
Yeah.
There's literally no point not to if you have the Game Pass. The Game Pass has just been on fire lately. Day one
Oh, yeah.
drops. I don't know where Xbox been all this time.
I
I was like, I'm like, Game Pass? Hello?
It's really weird because there's a lot of games. Because I think they just recently had more games. I was like, I kind of wanted to buy some of these games before the Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to waste my money in case they're bad. And then I look on the Game Pass. I was like, there's literally 5 games that I was about to buy.
Yeah, and there's like about 200-300 games on there, but they're pretty good. Like usually all the new games that are coming out are gonna be on there. Just classics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
not to shill for them, but it was like I was like, okay,
Not
Xbox.
sponsored.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you know, like let's go
Yeah.
Xbox. I'm like,
I mean, they had Humankind, so.
yeah, they had Humankind, which I was like, oh, well, I mean, it was kind of a good thing because you know you got the bug on Xbox,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like I've been really liking the games they've been putting out on there. So if you have the Xbox Game Pass, I would say it's just worth it just to try it.
Yeah.
Just
Especially
try
if it's $1 for.
Yeah, and then because I
3
think
months.
is Civ also on the Game Pass?
No.
I know the Paradox games are like Europa and all that stuff.
Is it? No, it's not.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I know
but-
it was on the Epic Game Store, but
yeah, I mean, I would honestly check out any of the games that I've mentioned, especially like Endless Space and Endless Legends. Like, just check them out.
Yeah.
Like, they're cool. Like, or watch some gameplay on them because it's interesting to see. Because there is a lot of influence in Humankind that I saw from there, which I'm glad that they took some of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't really got any more to say
I
on
mean,
this.
it's a good game. I'd play it right now if I could, but you know, we had to record. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
But yeah, I'll be coming out with a strategy guide, kind of like
Yep.
to go from like the Neolithic to the ancient era. So hopefully, you know, you guys, if you're listening to this, that should be out by then. Hopefully, if not, I don't know. I'm sorry, but yeah, we're gonna try to get that one going. But
My computer doesn't blow up.
yeah. We've been
Should
having a
be
lot of
fine.
technical difficulties,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think we should just be wrapping up around here,
Yeah.
right? Well, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Check us out on stream. We've been playing a little bit of Humankind, but we've been mainly playing Knockout City. We're still addicted to that stupid game. It's not stupid. Why. It's just like, why is it so good? I don't know. But if you're interested, check us out. We're Past the Pop Culture. Pretty much on everything. Follow our Instagram, our Twitter,
YouTubes.
Yeah, usually on our Instagram we'll give kind of an alert. We haven't been doing so good lately, but we're gonna try to give alerts out of when we're going online to stream.
Mm-hmm.
And check us out, man. We'll have fun. Don't be afraid to say anything. Drop by. Talk to us about the podcast.
Make fun of Ricky again, like I keep saying.
Huh?
What? Nothing.
And so it's fun, man. We really want to hang out with everyone. Mm-hmm. So let us know if you got, if you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think of the game.
Yep.
This one was kind of just more of a only discussion of Humankind, but hopefully we'll have some other stuff coming up soon and check out some more games, maybe some anime. But we'll see how things go. Hey, you've been listening this far. Really appreciate it. We're Past the Pop Culture, and we're signing off. Thanks.
Peace.